Integrated Math 3, this is part 3 of the lesson 5.01 answers video, and so we'll do the last 3 problems, 10, 11, and 12 here. And let's go ahead and get started. So this one, again, try to do this one on your own. Okay, you should be able to do this one on your own if you've studied the last few. So let's go ahead. This is the angle that we want to that we have to work with, and we're going to label the sides. The longest is the hypotenuse. Okay. The one opposite the angle over here is the opposite, and the other guy, the one that's next to the angle but not the hypotenuse, is the adjacent. Okay, so we need to find each of these. We'll start just in alphabetical order for no particular reason. We'll start with X. So we want what we know, and what we don't know, and the side that we know here. So we know we don't know the hypotenuse. We do know the adjacent. So the relationship between hypotenuse and adjacent is right here. It's adjacent over hypotenuse is going to be the cosine. So we're going to go ahead and say that the cosine of 30, okay, equals the adjacent, which is 2, over the hypotenuse. If you want, you can call it X. Either way is fine. Okay? All right, so we have to solve for hypotenuse. So since it's on the bottom, it's 2 steps. These cancel. And so what we have down here is this. And if we want, we can go ahead and determine the cosine of 30. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we have the online calculator. So we're going to type in 30. Going to have to click on this and activate it. 30, and we want cosine. And it's 0.866. Okay, now we go ahead and divide both sides by 0.866. These two cancel. And so we have hypotenuse equals 2 over 0.866. And that's going to equal, do that on my hand calculator here, and that gives us 2.31. Okay, so this equals 2.31. All right, now we have to find the opposite. There's 3 ways we can do it. We can do opposite over hypotenuse is the sine, opposite over adjacent is the tangent, or Pythagorean theorem. Hypotenuse squared minus this side squared equals this side squared. But we're going to go ahead and use trigonometry. So let's go ahead and do, it doesn't matter which one we do. Let's do opposite over adjacent. That will be the tangent. Multiply both sides by 2. And so now we have 2 times, we'll go to the calculator and find the tangent of 30. Tangent, 0.577. Go with that. Okay, and 2 times 0.577, just do that. I'll do that on my handheld calculator. And that gives us 1.15. So that's this side right here. Okay, and then the angles, this is 90 degrees. 90 plus 30 equals 120. 180, go ahead and write it here, 180. Minus 30, minus 90 is going to equal 60. So this angle is 60. So now we know all 3 sides and all 3 angles. Okay, so hopefully by now these are kind of starting to make some sense. All right, let's do 11 and 12. Okay, now it's a word problem here. From a point on level ground 80 feet from the base of a building, the angle of elevation is 25.6 degrees. Approximate the height of the building to the nearest foot. Okay, so always do this type of problem. Make yourself a picture. Okay, and a little clue to this problem is it has something to do with a triangle, right? So let's go ahead and draw a triangle, a right triangle. Okay, there it is. Okay, and here you are looking at this building. We're going to imagine, just for the sake of it, though, that your eyes are down here. So you're lying flat on your stomach here. So you're looking right from ground level. All right? And here's the building over here. Okay, so that's a building. Here's the windows. Okay, so there's the building. So it says from a point on level ground. Okay, so you're laying on your belly, you're looking over here. You're 80 feet from the base. That's the bottom of the building. So this is 80. This number here is 80. 80 feet. All right, of the building. The angle of elevation, that's this angle. It's how much from the ground you have to elevate to see the top of that building. And it's 25.6. So they want you to approximate the height. So this is the hypotenuse. This is the opposite. And this is the adjacent. And what they want you to find is this height. So that's the opposite. We're looking for the opposite. So we're looking for the opposite. We know the adjacent. Therefore, the relationship between opposite and adjacent is the tangent. Okay, just go back to your front page there. So what you're saying is the tangent of 25.6 degrees equals opposite over adjacent, which is 80. Multiply both sides by 80. Okay, these cancel, and so you have opposite, which is what our answer is going to be, the height of the building, equals tangent 25. So let's go to the calculator. 25.6. We go down and click tangent. That's our number, and then we're going to multiply that by 80. And it gives us 38.3. So opposite equals 38.3 feet. Feet you abbreviate with a single tick mark like that, or we can write the word feet either way. Okay, either way, those means feet is the height. And that's your answer. Okay? All right. Last problem. From the top of a lighthouse, 160 feet high, the angle of depression, so we'll define what that means here in just a second. The angle of depression of a boat out at sea is 24 degrees. Find to the nearest foot the distance from the boat to the foot of the lighthouse. Okay, so let's draw our lighthouse. Draw it over here. Okay, and there it is. That's a lighthouse. And there it is. It's got a light that goes out so boats can see it. It goes out in all directions. Okay, and out here is a boat. We're going to assume that we're measuring from the bottom of the boat, so it's right on. Okay, and there's a sailboat. That's a sailboat. Okay, so from the top of the lighthouse, 160 feet high. So this is the lighthouse. So this is 160 feet. The little tick mark means feet. The angle of depression of a boat out to sea is 24 degrees. So what that means is the boat is level. The bottom of the lighthouse is level. It's right on the ground, right at sea level. So it's level with that boat right there. And then you create a triangle here. Okay. And this, let me move this 160 because it's kind of in the way right here. I'll put it right here. So it's the height of this lighthouse. Okay, the angle of depression is this. Okay, it's that angle right there. And they're saying that that's 24 degrees. Okay, so the height is 160, that side. Okay, and the angle is 24 degrees. So let's go ahead and label our sides. Okay, the longest side, this is the longest side of this triangle, is the hypotenuse. The side opposite is this one down here. That's opposite. And this one right here is right next to it. It's the other guy. That's going to be the adjacent. So angle of elevation is when you're looking up from the ground. Angle of depression is when you're looking down from some height downwards. Okay, that's called angle of depression. Okay, so we have what we need. So what are we trying to find? Find to the nearest foot the distance from the boat to the foot of the lighthouse. So that's this distance right here. The boat to the foot of the lighthouse, that means the bottom. Foot of the lighthouse means the bottom. So that means we're looking for the opposite. So we need to find a relationship between opposite and adjacent. Okay, and again, that's going to be tangent. So the tangent of 24 degrees equals opposite, that's what we're trying to find, over the adjacent, which is 160. So we're going to multiply both sides by 160. These cancel. And so down here, I'll write it down here, you have opposite equals 160 times the tangent of 24. Let's go find what that is. So 24 tangent gives us 0.445, and then we're going to multiply that by 160. And it's 71.2. That was our tangent. And so the opposite, which is what we're looking for, is 71.2. And that's feet. Okay, so this is 71.2 feet. And that's what the question's asking for, so that's our final answer. Okay, so just go ahead. Again, if you're somebody going on with math, practice these. Be sure you understand them. You could really do them just from memory, just by looking at the question and redoing the problem completely correctly, okay? Otherwise, let's just get these down and get them in and get through the class, all right? Okay, that's it. We will see you in class on Monday.